fans, how are we all? Back to another Arty Fun Friday process video. I am doing a bit of a mixed media layout here with a couple of layers and a dash of this and a dash of that. So first up, I'm using this Distress Oxide ink. I'm smushing it onto a piece of plastic packaging, spritzing it with some water to activate it. And I'm just doing the good old packaging technique. Now, the paper I'm using, the cardstock I'm using, is a bit similar to the Basil Marshmallow cardstock, so it doesn't need any gessoing. In saying that, this did sort of warp slightly. Didn't too much, but just a little bit. So maybe I should have gessoed it, knowing I was going to use this much, but it doesn't matter. It didn't affect the layout in any way in the end. I just had to bend it and, yeah, whatnot. So I decided after doing that, because it's a paler pink, that just to add a bit of vibrancy to the background, I added some splatters of this distress stain in the, I think it's pickled raspberry? I showed you just then anyway, so you can always go back and have a look. Now I'm going to add some texture paste through this stencil, which has some various glasses shapes on them. So I'm using the deep blue. No, that's not the word. No, can't think of it now. Again, I just showed you it and I've already forgotten. Texture paste from Colour Blast. And I'm just going to get that through the stencil just in random formations, which you'll see finished in a sec. Now, the photos I am scrapping are from December 2016, and they're when I finished or formally finished my university degree. So this is actually my second uni degree, and this one is in a Bachelor of Social Science Psychology degree. And after a number of uphill battles with this degree that happened during the 3 years I did the degree, I got it finished, and not too shabbily either. So my partner and my kids brought me this cute little graduating owl, and with this gorgeous little card that my son wrote in, which says, I think it's "Too pretty, Mum," something about graduating, now you get to work with all the crazies or something like that. It was really funny. It was a bit cute and a bit funny all at the same time. So yes, so that's what these two photos are of, hence the glasses and things like that, because I wear glasses. So yes. Now I am going to map my photos on these two sort of paler coloured pieces of paper. Now everything I'm using pretty much in this layout is the remainder of my for the March Kitaholic Kit. So I get the main kit, which has all the paper and embellishments and things like that in it. So that's what I'm using here, and it was using the Kaisercraft Misty Mountains collection. So that's what I'm using throughout this layout. So these are some leftover bits of this type of pattern paper, and I just thought they would add a good break from the background because the photos are a bit dark. They're not the best photos. So I just wanted them to pop a little bit. So I just thought a photo matte of a lighter colour would sort of, yeah, just border them well enough to sort of make them pop out a little bit. I'm loving using this little mini Fiskars trimmer. I mean, I've got my big one, and I brought the little guillotine type one for my daughter's scrapping, but it lives under my desk. But I love it. It's a great little handy thing to use when you're not, not cutting huge big pieces.
What are you videotaping up? Videotaping.
Alright, so just trimming bits and pieces down. Oh, then I had this really wacky idea that I would use some of the leftover strips of pattern paper to create this random piece on my layout. I think this, to me, when I stepped back and when I was doing this layout, I was like, you know what, this is kind of a crazy layout. I've just completed my, documenting my completion of a Bachelor of Psychology degree. My card says from my son, now you hang out with the crazies or work with the crazies or whatever. And I was like, why not make it a little bit funky and a little bit crazy? So that's what I'm doing. That splattered technique in the background, the glasses representing sort of me wearing glasses and studying and all those. And then these bits of pattern paper. So I literally just cut them. I didn't measure them. I didn't anything. I just cut them. So I just play around with sitting them on. Now these, it was a little bit fussy because the background still was a little tacky. It wasn't, texture paste wasn't quite dry. It was dry enough, but not quite, so it was a bit tacky. Anyway, so I play around with the idea here, as you can see. I do go with a bit of a, try and do contrasting effect, like light, dark kind of pattern, not pattern, pattern, whatever. I don't actually stick to this idea as such. It's a similar idea, but I gap them a little bit more and separate them a little bit more, so you can see more of the background poking through the strips, as you'll see when I'm done. So I just kept it in so you can see what I was doing. I then just used double-sided tape and I just stick them all down. I'm pretty certain I edited out the sticking down. I don't know. I don't think I kept it in. I don't think. Or maybe I did. Who knows? Right now, my memory is really bad. Like, I can't remember what I did 5 seconds ago. It's been a very rough week with my head at the moment, so I have no idea. Oh no, I do edit it a little bit out. I get to show you a little bit of the process. So you get to see the background here a bit. As you can see, I did separate them a bit more, like that background could go through. I did trim one or two of them down a little bit, just so they looked a little bit odd, not too even-ish. And yeah, and then I saw this square little piece and thought it would make the perfect little pocket. So I'm really really bashing the scraps here, in that, you know, using it all up, killing the kit, that's probably the better word. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm making this little pocket for this tag, which will be my journaling. Thought my journaling go in. I just thought it was something different. You know, it was one of these layouts where I just nailed it. To me, I was like, I'm super happy with this layout. It just was different. It wasn't, I don't think, my usual style. Things went well. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, just a bit different. So yeah, but now I'm going to use some of this Kaisercraft washi tape that came with the kit. And I will use that once I stick this down to just give it a bit of a bit at the bottom, just to stick it in so the tag doesn't slide out later on in life. Play around with placement, but I stick to what I originally had planned. And as you'll see here, just add a touch of washi, which adds just a nice little touch to it. Makes it its own sort of space, as well as it seals in that bottom bit as well. So my tag will sit nicely in there. Alright, just going to play around. What am I doing? I do trim the tags, the little ribbon twine bit off the tag, because it gets too long. Oh, so I just ducked over and got some craft foam from my shelves. Just popping up my photos with a bit of craft foam, just to give a bit of height to the page, but also, oops, I bumped my camera, sorry guys. Still working with the new desk and tripod setup. Yeah, just doing the craft foam just to give it a bit of extra dimension and really make sure those photos, as I said, they are not the best photos, they're a bit dark and whatnot. So just making sure they sort of pop up the page so you know you can really see them, I guess. And again, something different for me, it's, you know, bottom and top of the page, sitting the photos instead of just side by side or on an angle or anything like that. And I've just used double-sided tape, mainly because it's not sitting too much, particularly over the texture paste, so I'm not too worried about it not sticking. Some of the bits that I do add that are sitting over the texture paste in particular, I do adhere with the, I do adhere it with the craft glue. There you go. I thought I used just double-sided tape because it was going on the paper bit, but I don't. So there you go. Now the only thing I had here was this also I needed to really come back to and stick down, because the paper had bubbled a little bit, so I actually turned it over, the cardstock over to the blank side, and just pushed all of the glue around and the photos down and stuff to make sure there was an even sort of sitting of it. was just not sitting right. Alright, so I'm going to play with how I want to journal on this card. I was going to journal straight on it, but then I thought, nah, it looks a bit boring. Wanted to add something to the tag. I wasn't sure what straight away. Oh, here you go. So yeah, see, I have to push it down to make sure the glues are even and whatnot too. So now I'm going to go through. I've got some bits and pieces sitting left over from the kit, some scraps, my little tray of goodies there with my embellishments and everything in it. So I'm just going to play around with what I want behind it. I didn't want to completely cover the white, but it was just too white. So too plain, too boring for this layout, I thought. So just going through, and this is the die cut pack that comes in the Kaisercraft collection, the Misty Mountains one. And what I'm tossing to the side there is some pieces I'm thinking I'll use in the layout when I get back to embellishing it. So hence I just put them aside so I don't have to go digging around, because my desk ended up being a massive mess. I just couldn't find where everything was. So there you go. I've journaled, I've had my pieces, and that's that. I do add this. I do add some border to my tag, just because again it was just too stark white. With the journaling and everything on it, the black just added a bit of boundary to the tag, if that's the right way. Just added just an extra bit of interest, I guess, or something to it. I can't think of the word. Alright, now it's time to knuckle down and get some embellishing done. So to really make sure that this little pocket bit sticks out, I'm going to add this die cut piece to it, and it just says she believed she could, so she did, which is absolutely perfect. And just this phrase, remember this day. And then I'm just going to play around where other bits and pieces are going to go. I really liked the placement. These little shapes sat really well there. It was a great little kind of clustery kind of thing. I did look at the thickers that came in the pack this month, in the kit this month, to see if I can make a title out of it, and I really couldn't, so I ended up going over and getting some stickers out of my stash, which I think from memory actually came maybe in the February kit, could be wrong, but maybe. And there's some gold stickers with some like pink foam around it, I guess. You'll see what I mean. So I couldn't quite think of a title. I actually struggled a little bit to figure out what I was going to do. So then I decided on #CrazyMum. So, and again, going with that wacky look, and off-centering all my letters so they're all a bit wonky. Perfect fit to join the crazies. The little hashtag piece was also in that ephemera pack, the Kaisercraft pack. What have we got? So how's everyone been? I am back to my regular posting of videos and blog posts and things. I've had a few extras with my guest designer role with Kitaholics over February and March, so I hope you'd enjoy those. And as I said, if you enjoy what you see in the product that you see, especially when I'm using the kits, which I always mention when I'm using the Kitaholic kits, jump over to the Kitaholic Kit shop and check out their kits. There's 4 different ones, plus Steph runs the shop as well. So there's all bits and pieces of scrappy fun in there as well. You can go ordering. It's not just the kits. But yeah, the kits are always great. Well, for someone like me who's not great with collections and world coordination of words by the seams of it. No, of colours and things. It's perfect for someone like me who could just sit down and I know it all matches and I can just go whack, whack, whack and, you know, belt out a layout. So it's great. So yeah, so I've just added that sticker. I cut it down. You would have seen it as a longer sticker piece from the Kaisercraft sticker sheet. And I did fuss around and edited that bit out, where I was going to place it. I was looking at placing it down the bottom left here. Didn't fit, couldn't make it fit, couldn't make it look alright. So I've actually stuck it up in the corner, which I was happy with, and just trimmed it all down. And then just used a pink acrylic heart, again from in the kit, but from Corbett Creations. She works alongside with Kitaholic Kit in adding some lovely bits and pieces to our kits. Some embellishment pieces like the wood veneer and the acrylic shapes and things like that. So yeah, another shop to check out if you're after some cute little handmade embellishments. Just adding some craft foam tape to this, just again to pop it up off the background. The background is, to me, is busy, not in a bad way, so making sure those embellishments do pop out a little bit. So I do add a lot of the craft, the foam tape, just to get it a bit of a boost and happening, so you can, you know, so if they stand out, you can see them, and, you know, they're eye-catching as well. Alright, so just wrapping up my layout, I think. So I'm just writing in the name of my degree because I actually couldn't fit that in on the journaling tag. Something I'm very proud of. I think it was long story short, wanted to do the degree when I was in year 11 and 12 when looking at unis. Didn't think I was quite smart enough to do it. And went with my second passion, which was early childhood, which is early childhood. Don't regret it at all. I love my teaching degree and loved working in early childhood, but decided just after my little one was born back in 2013 that I would get back into studying, and I decided that this was the next step in my study path as such. And yeah, so I did 3 years. It ended up being close to 3 years because I had to have some breaks in between due to health and personal reasons. It is normally a 3-year degree, but I did get some course credits from my early childhood degree as well. So yeah, so it's great. Now I'm looking at the next stage of this to be starting on that. The next pathway of the psychology degree to become Dr. Amy, a clinical psychologist in years to come. But yeah, that's just a bit of a short bio of what's going on there. Just adding a little embellishment cluster. I felt this side needed something. It was very right side heavy, I realised. So just need to add a few little things just to tip the scales of, you know, make it a little bit even on the left as well. Just adding those in. Now I think one of those was crafted foam tape and the rest weren't. But I think that is my layout complete for you, I think. Oh, I added some splatters, some I swapped colour shine in a mint colour, just to balance off that blue in the background as well. Just soaking up some big splodge bits that splattered on there on me. And then it's done. You get the lovely little finished up hands, I think, in a second, and then some close-ups of the layout. Any questions, please leave me a comment. Don't forget to ask. Don't forget thumbs up. It's always nice to see people liking my videos, and don't forget to subscribe. And, you know, thank you to all my new subbies that have popped in too lately. I will see you very shortly with another video. Bye.